What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, it's the first day of December. Holidays in the air. Whatever you have you do be excited about is coming. Juventus can maybe hopefully give us something to be excited about too, because as soon as obviously Christmas, holidays, whenever you celebrate rolls around, it's rolling around after that is the Mercado. Maybe we'll have some news to talk about there. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. Again, of course, I have your latest rundown of all things Juventus. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. But let's just go ahead and just jump into it and give you what we have today when it comes to the latest news topics. First up, what I want to talk about is a guy, former Juventus player, maybe a current Serie A player, is Ibrahimovic. We need to talk about him and some comments that he made to Corriere della Sera. Basically, he came in talking about he addressed his history of Juventus, but almost really defending Juventus and their history, saying Scudetti won with Juve, we won those, and nobody can take them away from us. No one can erase the sweat, effort, suffering, injuries, and goals. That's why when people say I've won 11 championships in my career, I correct them 13. Again, obviously, I'm not the biggest Ibrahimovic guy, but in this moment, I'd love to hear him take a stand and really step up for Juventus, for a former club that he played at, and kind of say some positive things there. So really good on him. I mean, like I said, now that when I say I'm not a big Ibrahimovic fan, he's not a Juve guy. He's not a Juve legend kind of guy. Yes, he's played with Juve, but he's not that kind of guy to me. But good on him for really sticking into his past and knows where he came from. Next up, we're going to talk about another guy who could be a big-time striker to bring in at Juventus that I know a lot of you guys are interested in. And, of course, that would be our guy, Vlahovic. But is it the best in news? Well, Gazzetta Sports reporting that Arsenal. And can we get rid of Arsenal? Can Arsenal go away at some point when it comes to somebody that... I mean, obviously, I'm not that worried about Arsenal because for the most part, Locatelli, whatever have you, they can sniff around all they want, but the player, they don't want you. They don't want you like that, bro. Gazzetta dello Sports reporting, though, that Arsenal would be ready to offer over 85 million euros to bring in Vlahovic in the January Mercado. There are those in the player's entourage who would be willing to consider the offer. Vlahovic, however, would like to stay in Florence until the end of the season. In this report, it didn't clarify that he would like to go elsewhere, but just that he wants to stay in Florence, finish the year with Fiorentina, try to finish the year taking them to Europe is what he said. He wants to get them in the European competition there, be it in the Euros or whatever have you, which is an admirable goal. Got it out there. But again, Arsenal, he don't want you. He don't want you, bro. Yeah, I'm going to use some incorrect English just because I'm having fun with it. We'll see what happens. We'll see, monitor the situation as it develops, but that's another option for Vlahovic moving in. Next, we need to talk about some stats from Optapalo. They're reporting that Juventus, or not reporting, I guess it's a report, but they're just stating facts that they've kept Juventus have won 2 away Serie A games in a row without conceding a goal for the first time since February of 2019. Also in that case, under Massimiliano Allegri return. So that's pretty cool to see that maybe is that an example of some development. I'll be honest, there's still a lot of mess going on at Juventus. There's still a lot of background stuff that I'm not liking the way it's shaping out, or not background stuff, but I just mean overall the mess on the field. The product is not what I prefer. Let's just put it that way. That's the nicest way to say. I'm trying to say stuff. Like I said, guys, I'm Mr. Positivity. When we know that's not true. Anyway, so overall, that's a good stat to really show that maybe Juventus is starting to move in the right direction. We'll see. Keep monitoring how that goes. Of course, you got to win the games at home, though. So while, yes, good, you won 2 games in a row away without conceding goals, yes. Maybe not the best competition, but the biggest thing, though, to me, is you lost at home for the first time since before I was born. 1989, a year before I was born. That was the first time that you lost for the first time to Atalanta at home. So take it with a massive grain of salt there with the positivity. from that one. Then we can move on to Altapalo has another stat saying that 24 since 2014-15, Paulo Dybala has scored the most goals from outside the box in Serie A of 24. He's a sniper. So really cool. Just a nice little stat about Paulo Dybala and how integral and how important he is in Serie A, but also just as he is to be the striker for the future. We don't really have anything in this because it's continuing to develop. The news story, obviously, I talked about it a lot before. The what's the term that I use all the time, guys? The meeting to the meeting to the meeting to the meeting or whatever. That's still ongoing. That's still a mess. We're gonna see whenever that does happen, whenever it does come to fruition that Jorge Antun comes in and whatever happens with Paulo Dybala, if that renewal happens. But I think what latest we have is literally in 4 weeks. If nothing gets done in 4 weeks, he can literally go sign a pre-whatever agreement with another club or another individual or whatever have you. I don't like that. So we'll see what happens. Keep monitoring that situation. But definitely shows his worth. And it really needs to show that Juventus and Paulo Dybala need to step it up and get this thing done because it doesn't bode well for the future. Next up, we can talk about Frabotta, and that is Hellas Verona could end up sending Gianluca Frabotta back or from his loan in January. Not exactly what we need. I don't think the departure of Frabotta was as big of a deal. It wasn't as big of a help as sending a lot of these other guys out on loan overall. But again, I don't know that adding him back is something that Juventus really needs at this time and place. Hopefully they'll end up keeping him throughout the season. If not, but it's just something to keep an eye on. I don't know. Maybe Juventus could utilize him in some way down the road, but I'm not super optimistic that would be the case in the situation. Next up is kind of a big story over here. Is Corriere della Sera is reporting that John Elkann will not relieve Andrea Agnelli from his position at the moment. Elkann wants to see how the investigation will evolve. He is aware of the fact that the club still comes before any director or manager. So yeah, he's not going to be ceding power, or Agnelli will not have to be ceding his power to John Elkann as it stands right now. I don't think a lot of people really expected that to be happening. Just given, honestly, we have to be frank and we have to be honest. The stuff that's going on with Juventus is frankly a mess. It's not something that we need as fans, that we need in the place where Juventus stands currently on the on-field product. But then when you have all this mess going on behind the scenes as well, it's not a good look. And it doesn't help fans feel comfortable about where the future is going. But we'll see. Hopefully this gets worked out. And hopefully it'll be in a way that is beneficial. Most importantly, obviously for the club, but most importantly for the fans and the product that they will continue to see in the near to distant future. All right. Let me know your thoughts about that. I don't want to talk too much on that overall. It's just kind of personal, or personally how that sits, just because I don't really dive as much into all the stuff until we have all the facts of what's going on with the investigation, because it's a much serious matter. Much more serious matter. I don't know what I was saying there. Than me talking about, oh, hey, we're going to go buy this guy. We want to lose this guy. Really what I like to focus on is what's going on the pitch, but it's super important that we talk about this kind of stuff. Anyway, Archer, this is the next topic, the final topic that we have for the day for you, is Gazzetta dello Sport's reporting that Archer could be on his way out. The club is following Tchouaméni, Witsel, and Zakaria. Of course, those are the names that we've been floating out. We've been talking about for months now at this point. I'll be honest, I'm still very extremely disappointed that Arthur is not getting any kind of time, any kind of run out there. Put him out there, let him have a couple minutes to try to do something. Again, I wanted to see him and Locatelli working together. It seems like that's not going to happen. And it seems like I might have to, when I say shut my mouth, but like just realize that it's not happening. Any kind of hope you had for that, put it aside for now, because that's not where the way this is heading for the time being. So for right now, we'll see. Hopefully, again, I like Archer as a player. He hasn't seemed that bad. There's a couple instances where he's a bit slower on the ball than other players are. But overall, I think he brings something more than a lot of guys that we throw out there on the pitch. Rabiot, Bendiger. Yeah, they're playing different positions or whatever sometimes, or different, they're used in different ways during this time. But at the same time, I don't know. I'd like to see him and Locatelli together. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below when it comes to that or any of these stories we talked about today. Basically, the most important aspects, though, were Vlahovic. Is Arsenal going to go after him? Are they going to be a problem for Juventus when Juventus are trying to hold off until the summer for him to come in, especially when Vlahovic wants to hold off on any move? And then, of course, all the players and the way they could be going and whatever happens there with, either Frabotta coming back, Arthur leaving, and then Elkann and what's going on between him and Agnelli. We'll keep monitoring that and keep you up to date each and every day as we do always. I believe we'll also, always have our lives and other videos for you as well. If you're new here, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media. We have that in the I hit the thing. We have that down here in the graphic. I'm at Justin Sofro on Twitter, Julian Genotti at Genotti151, and of course, our guy, Alejandro at Fancello at Alejandro BZ on Twitter as well, besides just the Bianconeri Zone overall accounts too. We'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.